sannyasi? A sannyasi is not one who doesn't do any work. A sannyasi is one who does his work, but he is not attached to the fruits of the work. Anashrita karma phala. He is not taking shelter of the fruits of the work. Karyam karma karoti ya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragir na cha kriya. And not one who is not a sannyasi is who doesn't light a fire, who doesn't do any work. He can he is not necessarily a sannyasi, but a real sannyasi is one who does his duties and who is not attached to the results of the work. So that's why, like, we have to understand, we have to cultivate this knowledge and understand where we are in the process, in the spiritual life. How much detachment do we have? How much realization do we have that we are a spirit soul, we are not this body? What is the strength of our practices? With how much faith we are doing chanting, with how much faith we are doing hearing. Today we were hearing that if you are having mithya ahankara, if you are having false ego, pride, then you cannot be humble. And if you are not humble, then you cannot even have faith for chanting. You cannot have taste in chanting. So humility is the most important thing in cultivating this faith, right? So in 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there is divisions of faith. There is so faith depends on our mind, that on our sanskaras, on our vasanas. So a devotee, that's why a devotee's life should be in mode of goodness as far as possible. Then our faith will be good in chanting, in hearing, in reading scriptures. So that's why, like, these subtle enemies, they have to be taken care of. Otherwise, we'll not get like real taste of chanting. Our Shiksha Guru used to pray every day for 1 hour for his students, that they will get taste for chanting someday. So like this, we have to cultivate both science and science. That's why, like, we have to we have to give both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge to kids today. Yeah. So we'll start with the 13 mantra. Okay. Anybody else wants to share anything from Ishopanishad, what we have learned till now? Yes, Mataji, Pragya Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण
प्रभु जी, हमें एक श्लोक याद है।
हाँ जी, बताइए।
प्रभु जी, ईशावास्यम इदम सर्वम यत्किंच जगत्याम जगत तेना त्यक्तेन भुंजिता मा गृधा कस्य स्वेद्धनम. So one should accept only those things which are necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and should not accept those things जो हमें पता है किसी और को belong करती है. And one shloka also, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. So the personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, is also complete in itself. Yeah, Prabhuji.
और आप इसको कैसे अपनी लाइफ में अप्लाई कर रहे हो ईशावास्यम इदम सर्वम?
प्रभुजी, प्रभुजी, जो भी स्पिरिचुअलिटी में जितना भी मुझे मिला है, मतलब आई शुड बी सेटिस्फाइड बिना कंपैरिजन के.
Yeah, and grateful. Yeah, that is very important.
Yes, Prabhu.
We should be grateful, and we should be grateful for whatever we have received. Well, yesterday only we were discussing that little bit of sadhu sangha can take us so far, can take us so ahead in Krishna consciousness. We don't know when it will burst. Like, it's like a time bomb. These books, Srila Prabhupada's books, are time bombs. So after 20 years also, you can become a pure devotee. You might not see the effect today, but it might be there after 20 years. So yeah, like, that gratitude should be there. And then when we do all our services with that feeling of gratitude, I have received so much from senior devotees, then actually we attain satisfaction. Satisfaction comes from gratitude, and gratitude is the seed of love, right? So when we are grateful for sunshine, we are grateful for moonshine, we are grateful for each and every small service which anybody has done to us. Even even the uh, even the unpleasant experiences also we should be grateful, because Krishna has inspired them to do like that for our purification. Because already this material body is full of traumas, full of nirananda, right? So if anybody else is not behaving good with us, that is purifying that body actually, and we'll go back to godhead faster. So it is said that if somebody criticizes you, he's taking your negative, he's taking your karma. And if somebody glorifies you, he's giving your karma, giving you his negative karma to you. So it's always good to accept criticism. Bhagavad Gita says that tulyanindastirmani santushtoyena kenchit, right? We have to tolerate both the glorification and criticism, but we should invite criticism even more, because then we will understand where we are. Yesterday I was discussing with my wife, long discussion happened, and I was like, she was like, it was a very hot discussion, right? Like it was, but I got little bit like upset after that discussion. But when I started chanting after 1 hour, I thought ki something she's saying true. I need to grow in these some areas maybe. So sometimes like the way the things come out might not be liked so much by us, like because people don't know, like in this Kali Yuga, people don't know how to communicate. They don't have any consciousness. Basically, like we should have these discussions in an empathic way, in a more like mode of goodness consciousness, right? Where we can where we can discuss, and so that both of us, like all the devotees, they can go forward in their trajectory. But because of that disturbed consciousness, actually those meaningful conversations also, they don't turn out good, only because of the disturbed consciousness. But ultimately it is our responsibility to make the situation peaceful by taking shelter of the Lord, and then we understand that what needs to be done. So then Krishna will tell that what is our quota, and where we are and where we have to go, so that path will become clear. But yeah, but most important thing is our Krishna consciousness, how we take shelter of Krishna. And when Krishna enlightens our heart, nitya siddha Krishna prema sadhuka bunay shravanadi shuddhi chitte kara deoda. So basically, when Krishna arises in our heart, just like a sun rises, when sun arises, you are able to see everybody, right? At night you are not able to see anybody. But as soon as the sun arises, even the urine and stool, they get evaporated, all the purification happens. Similarly, when Krishna arises in your heart, then Krishna will enlighten what is right, what is wrong, where you are, where you have to go, what are all the things, right? So ultimately the most important is to make our is to reinstate our consciousness. My voice is breaking. Internet. Okay. Is it breaking for others or no?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, so maybe Projito has bad internet. So although we should preach, and we should always try to preach whatever capacity we have, but priority should be given to our own sadhana. Priority should be given to our own connection with Krishna. So in this context, even Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also, he tried to preach so much, and the results were not so great. And he communicated this to his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said to him, "These are great souls. Like these are souls who have done so much austerity." Does anybody know about the schedule of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to sleep only for 2 hours, and he was a judge in a British court. So Britishers, they arranged a railway station. They arranged the first railway line so that Bhaktivinoda Thakur can easily commute to the British High Court. And the amount of cases he used to solve in 2 hours, that was equivalent to Britishers solving the cases in 2 months actually. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he used to sleep only 2 hours, and he used to like write bhajans. He used to meet with devotees, guide them. He used to guide his own son. He prayed for a ray of Vishnu. He got it. He got his son. So his son told him that I'm not getting those results. Why is it like that? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you have not fully taken the shelter of the holy name. You go to Mayapur and you take shelter of holy name. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur went to Mayapur. He stayed there for 9.5 years. He chanted 192 rounds every day, just like Haridas Thakur. And he took only one meal, and that too, that was only one fatwa meal, I think, was there. He had to bind his hand behind, and only one bite was allowed on for some bland khichdi. In that one bite, whatever he could eat, he had to eat. So that was it. That was his meal for one day. So after 9.5 years, he came back and then he preached. After that, regressive sadhana, regressive self-realization. And then he established so many Gaudiya Maths. And I think Ravi Prabhu also got initiated in that Gaudiya Math. Although, yeah, right now Kali Yuga is there, so everything is deteriorating. But at that point of time, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took the instruction of his father to his heart. And he went to Mayapur and he cultivated his Krishna consciousness for 9.5 years, 192 rounds daily. Literally negligible food he was eating, negligible sleep. And so he got so much purified that he was able to establish so many Gaudiya Maths. I think at least 56 Gaudiya Maths he established throughout the world. So our own purity, our own Krishna consciousness matters a lot. And if you don't prioritize that, if you don't basically, if you don't understand this concept, then everything will go haywire. If we Yasmin Tushte Jagat Tushte, if we are satisfying Krishna, everybody will be satisfied. But if we start satisfying somebody else, if we don't take care of our consciousness, then everything will start deteriorating. So that is one thing. Yeah. So let's start reading the 13th verse. Anya devahu sambhava dhanyadahura sambhava iti shushramadhiranam yenastada vichachakshire. It is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. So what I was hearing, basically there are not much Ishopanishad lectures available, but I was hearing one Gurijan Prabhu's lecture. He was telling that actually this verse is very similar to the 10th verse. 10th verse says that the wise have explained that one result is derived from culture of knowledge and that a different result is obtained from culture of nescience. So the knowledge is this, that how we can worship the supreme cause of all causes, the Supreme Lord. And the nescience is that what is obtained by not worshipping the Supreme Lord. And this both the science and nescience, both the knowledge and nescience can be understood when we hear from the disturbed authorities, the dhiras. Devanasmin yatha dehe kamaram yavanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatrina mohyati. So a dhira is one who is not disturbed by any external situation. He is totally fixed inside himself, inside his relationship with Krishna. Yeah. Sukheshu anudvignamana, dukheshu vigata sriha, vitarag bhakroda, stitadir munir uchyate. So this is the highest, not enjoying mode of passion or mode of goodness, but enjoying your relationship with Krishna. Being absorbed in that and always receiving the reciprocations of the Lord within. That is the highest pleasure of this human life. Nayam deha deha bhajam viloke, kastan kama narade vidvajamyat, tapo divyam putrika yena satvam, yasmat shuddhet brahma saukyam tvanantam. So when we do proper austerities, penances, proper sadhana, then we can experience brahma saukyam, infinite spiritual energy. That is the highest pleasure. Okay. So that's what they are saying, that if we worship the Lord, then we can realize the Lord in Sachidanand Vigraha form. And that is the highest pleasure. There will be nothing wanting you. You will be totally satisfied. यस्वात्मरतिरेव स्यादात्मतृप्तस्य मानव आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टस्तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. So like this, basically, we are totally, yeah, we can feel total satisfaction within our heart when our Krishna consciousness is mature. The system of hearing from undisturbed authorities is approved in this mantra. Oh, I think we have read this verse, right? Like, we have to read 14th and 15th verse. Yeah, nobody told us. Yeah, I think we have to read 14th verse. Sambhutim cha vinasham cha yastadvedo bhayam saha vinashena mrityum tirtva sambhuthyamritam. One should know perfectly the personality of Goddess Sri Krishna and his transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it. And in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge. Okay. Nam, Roop, Godalila, we should understand that these are not different from Krishna. And we should also know the temporary nature of the material world, of the demigods, the men and animals. So when we understand both the things side by side, then we surpass the death and we reach the eternal kingdom of God, and we enjoy the eternal life of bliss and knowledge. Purport. By its so-called advancement of knowledge, human civilization has created many material things, including spaceships and atomic energy. Yet it has failed to create a situation in which people need to die, take birth again, become old, or suffer from disease. Whenever an intelligent man raises the question of these miseries before a so-called scientist, the scientist very cleverly realizes that material science is progressing and that ultimately it will be possible to render man deathless, ageless, and diseaseless. Such answers prove the scientist's gross ignorance of material nature. In material nature, everyone is under the stringent laws of matter and must pass through 6 stages of existence: birth, growth, maintenance, production of byproducts, deterioration, and finally death. No one in contact with material nature can be beyond these 6 laws of transformation. Therefore, no one, whether demigod, man, animal, or plant, can survive forever in the material world. So everybody has an expiry date, है ना? खाली हाथ आए थे हम, खाली हाथ जाएंगे, बस प्यार के 2 मीठे बोल झिलमिलाएंगे. So we come also empty-handed, we will go empty-handed. Only thing which we carry is the bhakti which we do in this life. That bhakti, Srimatam, Arjuna is asking, right, to Krishna, if our process of bhakti remains incomplete, then where will we go? We will actually go to good families where we can continue from whatever percent we have left from. So whatever bhakti we are doing in this life, only that thing we will carry. We will not carry our bank account balance. We will not carry our family members. Only the bhakti. So whatever devotees come in our life, Krishna arranges them, and the bhakti which we do with those devotees, that bhakti we carry to the next life. And scientists might make so many claims that we will win over the death, right? It might take 20 years, 30 years, but we will win over the death. But they are not able to do anything. They are also claiming we will make a time machine, we will go to moon, we'll go to Mars, we'll conquer all the other planets. Nothing is happening. Everything has become farce. Why? Because they are not accepting scriptures. They are not accepting Krishna. They are not accepting the authority. Without the sanction of the authority, these things don't happen. For example, if you see the life of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, like his life is totally like spiritual. He has preached to so many people. He had at least 10,000 disciples. He has at least 100 temples in North India. And I think he had plans of creating 100 more temples in North India. Such a blissful life he was living. Why? Because he had full blessings of Prabhupada and he was fully committed. Even if he used to sleep at 12 o'clock, he used to immediately wake up before Mangal Aarti. He used to worship Krishna Balram in Vrindavan temple. He was such a great soul. He sacrificed his moment to moment for the sake of this movement. He was totally dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. And he was a Grasta, and like in spite of so many challenges and in the Grasta life, he dedicated each and every moment whenever the opportunity came to him. So when you live in the hearts of your disciples even after your departure, that is deathlessness. This is whatever science is saying, this is not deathlessness. When you transform people's heart and when you live in those hearts, even after you go, though, that is real deathlessness. That's what Krishna likes. Prabhupada used to say that it's one thing to chant for ourselves, like our doing our sadhana, but it is another thing to chant for others, to make other disciples. Both are totally different and both have totally different impact. So that is what, like, if you have good guidance, if your consciousness is good, if you have full faith in Prabhupada, you know your realization is good, you are acting within your realization, then you should preach to whatever capacity you have. Okay. But out of like without following Guru Sadhu Shastra, anything is not possible. For example, scientists are claiming so many things for last 50 years. Even single thing they are not able to prove. Like even the papers from Stanford, papers from Harvard, they are like the devotees have proved that they have wrong experiment data. So everything is flawed actually in this, apart from Krishna consciousness. There is nothing else actually. Without Krishna consciousness, we are totally lost in our life. We are totally lost in this material world. We are just playthings in the hands of Maya. We are just beaten by Maya, left, right, and center. If we don't connect with Krishna, if we don't take a devotee association, we don't chant the holy name, we are totally lost. See, these scientists, whether they go to Oxford, they go to Harvard, they go to Stanford. Like some subjects are good, like mathematics is there, physics is there. Those are also discovered by great devotees like Varamira, Aryabhatta, who are like from Indian origin, who are actually devotees, and Super Soul inspired them to derive these theorems of mathematics. But these days, like you don't expect everything which is coming from top-notch universities also is correct. Like most of the things are just they are just beating around the bush. They don't know actually what, because the real knowledge comes by hearing from the authorities, by hearing from bona fide acharya, from hearing from bona fide acharyas like Srila Prabhupada and Gopal Krishna Goswami. Then we actually perceive the Supreme Lord, the Satchidanand Vigraha form of the Lord. We understand what is the mercy which is flowing through them in our hearts. And when we understand, we receive that mercy in our hearts, then we become empowered to distribute that mercy to others also. So like that, basically, we should have full faith in these authorities. And when we really take association of those authorities who have full faith in these authorities and who have received this mercy and distribute it, then we also become empowered to receive this mercy and distribute this. Okay, so this is the real reality, and there is so much confusion and chaos in India only because we are losing our Vedic roots. We are not able to follow the Vedic culture which our acharyas have given. And only hope is this Krishna consciousness movement. Actually, whatever college preaching I was doing under the shelter of Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj only. So his brahmachari disciples only assisted me and gave me some service. So I am a recipient of Maharaj mercy also. Actually, for last 7 years I have been receiving his mercy. I've been staying in NCR. Sometimes I was in base. I was eating prasadam. Sometimes I went to book distribution. Sometimes I am assisting this brahmachari. I am receiving his mercy and then giving it forward. So much purification has happened. I have learned so much because of Maharaj's mercy. So Maharaj is very merciful actually. Many people might say that but he's an extremely compassionate, extremely like sacrificing acharya who has transformed that entire NCR into Vaikuntha actually. There are not so many temples without any conflicts anywhere else in the world apart from North India, and in Canada also he has so many temples. So like this, we should have faith in our guru. Like what Prabhupada could do, that was only because of his love for Bhakti Siddhanta. So we have to cultivate this love for our senior authorities, and senior authorities also should be pure. They should be responsible for like preaching. Then this movement will go forward. Otherwise, this movement will not go forward, because now there is a great responsibility. Like once these elevated souls, they disappear and they go back to Golok Dham, right? It comes on to the grand disciples. Like we become more responsible. We preach and we ourselves also chant. So like that, receiving and giving always is continuing. We are never halting that, because unless we ourselves take responsibility, this movement will not go forward. And already like these souls have sacrificed so much that although we might not do, somebody else will do. But we should do for our purification. We just have to connect with this Lord Chaitanya's movement, and automatically the mercy will flow. Just little bit endeavor. You go to any ISKCON temple, you take 5 books, and you just stand in the temple, and you can distribute those books for one day. You will earn also. You will earn like 500 rupees by distributing those 5 books. So you don't need anything else. We have everything else. We have everything from Srila Prabhupada. So only thing required is faith and enthusiasm. Okay. Anybody wants to read second paragraph? Pragya Mataji, you want? Yeah, Pragya Mataji, go ahead.
The duration of Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The duration of life varies according to species. Lord Brahma, the chief living being within this material universe, lives for millions and millions of years. While a minute germ lives for some hours only, but no one in the material world can survive eternally. Things are born or created under certain conditions. They stay for some time, and if they continue to live, they grow, procreate, gradually dwindle, and finally vanish. According to these laws, even the Brahmas, of which there are millions in different universes, are all liable to death either today or tomorrow. Therefore, the entire material universe is called Martyalok, the place of death.
You can continue. So this is same matlab. Basically, everybody has an expiry date. Don't think we will live eternally. We can live eternally only if we serve our acharyas. Yeah. You can read Matil. Next paragraph.
Yes, probably. The duration of material scientists and politicians are trying to make this place deathless because they have no information of the deathless spiritual nature. This is due to their ignorance of the Vedic literature, which contains full knowledge confirmed by mature transcendental experience. Unfortunately, modern man is averse to receiving knowledge from the Vedas, Puranas, and other scriptures. From the Vishnu Puran 6.7.61, we receive the following information. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Gya तथा परा अविद्या कर्म संज्ञाना तृतीया शक्तिर इष्यते. Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, possesses different energies known as para, superior, and apara, inferior. The living entities belong to the superior energy. The material world in which we are presently entangled is the inferior energy. The material creation is made possible by this energy, which covers the living entities with ignorance, avidya, and introduces them to perform fruitive activities. Yet, there is another part of the Lord's superior energy that is different from both this material inferior energy and the living entities. That superior energy constitutes the eternal deathless abode of the Lord. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 8.20.
You can pause. You can pause. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So these
Mm.
are two diff. Yes, Mataji. You want to share anything? Your understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji, there are two types of energies, para and apara, superior and inferior. And we belong to superior energy.
Yes. And everything else like this stool or this laptop, this table, these are all inferior energies. Because we are para, our material body is actually inferior energy, but our spirit soul is superior energy. So para and apara, these two energies, the material energy and the living entities, is the superior energy. And people, they are like trying to become deathless, but actually they are not able to, because they are averse to receiving knowledge from the Vedas, Puranas, and other scriptures. So this is also a challenge which we face in India today, because we don't have faith. We have so many issues with our parents, with our grandfathers, with our forefathers, that our heart is not receptive to the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, because there are some issues in the family constellation, family background. So somehow we have to remove these aversions. We have to become more purified, more loving, more faithful towards Krishna. Then we can receive knowledge, whatever we have, from the right sources who have assimilated that knowledge. Okay? So this is very important, because if we are averse to Krishna, if we are averse to like receiving knowledge, then that aversion will expand to everything. And you can examine your consciousness. Are you cultivating apathy or empathy? So these two words, apathy and empathy, are opposite to each other. So apathy means, okay, indifferent. I don't care, right? I'm so, yeah, these are fallen people. I don't really care. So that is apathy. But you should be empathic. Empathic means, no, they are so fallen, like Krishna, but they are still parts and parcels of Krishna. But I will pray for them, because they have forgotten their relationship with Krishna. Maybe if I pray, then maybe they also get connected to Krishna. Krishna might arrange some devotees in their life. So that is empathy. Like you, basically, you become compassionate, seeing the suffering nature of that soul. So we should not be averse. We should not be passionate. We should be compassionate, right? And that compassion starts from ourselves. When we are compassionate with ourselves, with our conditioning, with our soul, then we can expand that compassion to others also. These are like concentric circles. If you are compassionate on yourself, if you are self introspective, if you are aware of your own feelings, then you might become aware of others feelings also. If you are compassionate with yourself, you can extend that compassion to others also. So kripalu is the first quality of. So there are 26 qualities in Chaitanya Charitamrita which a Vaishnav should cultivate. Kripalu, Akrita Droha, Satyasara, Nidosha, Shuchi, Akinchana, Sarvopkaraka, Vijita Shatguna, Gambhir, Karuna, Maitra, Kavi, Daksha, Mani, Manada, Mani. So, like this, there are 26 qualities, and a devotee should cultivate all of them slowly, slowly. So, Kripalu is the first quality. So, the spiritual life begins with compassion. So, if you are not compassionate, if you are not following the four regulative principles, if you are not chanting the holy name, then you are actually not in the spiritual process. And responsibility also. You have to take your own responsibility. If you are not responsible, if you are not taking responsibility of your relationship with Krishna, then you are actually not in a spiritual process. So all these things are there. We have to become responsible for ourselves also, and for others also to whom we are preaching. Then actually that is a spiritual process. Yeah, speaking of responsibility, I just remembered that on 10th of May, I think our Guru Maharaj will address our one group. So I would invite all of you also. If you want to join, you can join. There will be a Zoom link which will be floated, and most probably the class will be on Friday at 4:30 p.m. So you can join. I will post the link in both the groups, because ultimately we have to connect with the authorities. We have to connect with the spiritual masters. Then that soul can achieve some satisfaction. Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, possesses different energies known as para and apara. Okay, we read this. Parastasmat bhavanyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana yas sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashyati. All the material planets, upper, lower, and intermediate, including the Sun, Moon, and Venus, are scattered throughout the universe. These planets exist only during the lifetime of Brahma. Some lower planets, however, are vanquished after the end of one day of Brahma and are again created during the next day of Brahma. On the upper planets, time is calculated differently. One of our years is equal to only 24 hours, or one day and night on many of the upper planets. The four ages of Earth, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, last only 12,000 years according to the time scale of the upper planets. Such a length of time multiplied by 1000 constitutes one day of Brahma, and one night of Brahma is the same. Such days and nights accumulate into months and years, and Brahma lives for 100 such years. At the end of Brahma's life, the complete universal manifestation is vanquished. ठीक है, ये मतलब क्लियर है ना कि ब्रह्मा के एक डे में ही हमारे 1000 कल्पास होते हैं, मतलब 1000 चतुर्युगास होते हैं। और जब ब्रह्मा का एक डे ओवर होता है, ब्रह्मा जी सोने जाते हैं, तब उसमें भी थोड़ा सा एनिलेशन हो जाता है लोअर प्लैनेट्स में। और जब वो दोबारा उठते हैं तो वो दोबारा उन लोअर प्लैनेट्स को दोबारा बना देते हैं। उनकी साधना यही होती है, वो ब्रह्म संहिता रिसाइट करते हैं और फिर उनको कृष्ण भगवान से रेवलेशन आ जाता है कि कैसे स्पीसीज को बनाना है, तो ऐसे वो क्रिएट कर देते हैं। और जब पूरे मतलब उनकी पूरी लाइफ हो जाती है ऐसे वन डे डे करके, 1000 युगास का जो डे है, 1000 चतुर्युगास का, 100 ईयर्स ब्रह्मा के जब पूरे हो जाते हैं तो पूरी कॉस्मिक मैनिफेस्टेशन एनिलेट हो जाती है, पूरी 14 प्लैनेटरी सिस्टम्स। तो यही बता रहे हैं कि जो हमारा जो एक साल होता है वो ऐसा हो सकता है कि इंद्र जो स्वर्ग लोक है वहां पे जस्ट इक्वल टू वन डे। तो इसलिए बेसिकली ऐसे बता रहे हैं। ठीक है। So anybody wants to read this paragraph? Yes, Raghuvar.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Those living beings who reside on higher planets like the sun and the moon, as well as those on Vrittaloka, this earth planet, and also those who live on lower planets, all are merged into the water of devastation during the night of Brahma. During this time, to no
You have,
living being.
you have to open your camera. You have to open it.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Here I have devastation during the night of Brahma during this time, so living beings or species remain manifest, although spiritually they continue to exist. This unmanifested stage is called avyakta. Again, when the entire universe is vanquished at the end of Brahma's lifetime, there is no another avyakta state. But beyond these two unmanifested states is another unmanifested state, the spiritual atmosphere or nature. There are great number of spiritual planets in the atmosphere, and these planets exist eternally even when all the planets within this material universe are vanquished at the end of Brahma's life. There are many material universes, each under the jurisdiction of a Brahma, and this cosmic manifestation within the jurisdiction of the various Brahma is but a display of one fourth of the energy of the Lord. Ikpat Vibhuti. This is the inferior energy beyond the jurisdiction of Brahma is the spiritual nature which is called Tripat Vibhuti, three-fourths of the Lord's energy. This is the superior energy or Paraprakriti.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, bro. So, bro, how are you? Like you are saying, you are feeling fearful in sharing anything. Is everything okay? Pravjit, bro?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Is
अभी
anybody else?
शुभ का
Huh?
शुरू से मतलब ऐसे स्कूल टाइम से थोड़ा आदत था ना कि जैसे कभी स्टेज पे नहीं जाते थे, कम जाते थे तो हेजिटेशन होता था बोलने में, या कोई क्वेश्चन पूछ लेते थे तो हेजिटेशन होता था, तो वो थोड़ा थोड़ा अभी भी है, अभी इतना नहीं है लेकिन थोड़ा थोड़ा है।
प्रीचिंग करोगे, अगर कोई भी एक दो लोगों को पकड़ के उनको प्रीच करो, अपने दोस्तों को, तो वो हेजिटेशन चला रहा है।
यस यस प्रभु जी।
और मेरे से तो कोई भी डरने की जरूरत नहीं है, तुम गलती भी करोगे तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा नहीं डांटूंगा, ठीक है? और कोई भी डरता है क्या मेरे से यहाँ पे? आई डोंट थिंक सो। तो इसमें यही बता रहे हैं कि जो मतलब जो स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड होता है ना, वो 3 टाइम्स होता है मटेरियल वर्ल्ड। तो जो हमारा कॉस्मिक स्काई है, कॉस्मिक मैनिफेस्टेशन है, उसमें 3/4 जो होता है वो स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड है, और जो 1/4 होता है वो मटेरियल वर्ल्ड होता है। उसको एक पाद विभूति बोलते हैं। और वो पूरा जो 1/4 एरिया है वो ब्रह्मा के जुरिस्डिक्शन में आता है सर, ठीक है? हम्म, अच्छा, ठीक है। और वही बता रहे हैं कि मतलब जो एनिलेशन होता है ब्रह्मा की डेथ के बाद, उसके बाद सारी चीजें अनमेनिफेस्ट हो जाती हैं। मतलब ये पूरा 14 प्लानिटरी सिस्टम गायब हो जाता है, और वो सारी जो सोल्स होती हैं वो महाविष्णु पे चिपक जाती है। मतलब यहाँ नहीं लिखा है, वो मैं बता रहा हूँ। तो वो बहुत पेनफुल सिचुएशन होती है। एक्चुअली हम तो सोल है, मतलब हमें कोई मार नहीं सकता, हमें कोई क्रिएट भी नहीं कर सकता। नैनम छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनम दहति पावक। So when the material planetary systems are annihilated, then we uh, basically we lose these material bodies. We become stuck on the body of Mahavishnu in the form of Mahatattva. So we the souls with their subtle bodies, Mahatattva and Pradhan, right? So then again after Brahma wakes up, then again he wakes up, or maybe create like another Brahma is born and he creates another universe. Then again we Mahavishnu, when he breathes, then there are like unlimited number of universes which come out of his pores of his body. And then basically again Mahavishnu glances over those universes with the living entities, and then again living entities take their subtle body, subtle karma. The pradhan becomes unmanifested in Mahatattva. So all those things are going on. Yeah. But the spiritual world is beyond these things. Like these things are like unmanifested thing, right? Like when Brahma dies or when Brahma is living. So who the souls which have reached the spiritual world, they don't need to go undergo these painful processes of sticking to Mahavishnu's body or undergoing the annihilation of their own material body. So that's what Prabhupada is writing. Yeah. The predominating supreme person residing within the spiritual nature is Lord Sri Krishna. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, he can be approached only by unalloyed devotional service and not by the processes of jnana, yoga, or karma. The karmis of fruitive workers can elevate themselves to the Swargloka planets, which include the sun and the moon. Jnanis and yogis can attain still higher planets such as Maharloka, Tapaloka, and Brahmaloka, and when they become still more qualified through devotional service, they can enter into the spiritual nature. So already, like the 4 Kumaras, they are in the Brahmaloka. So the topmost planet is the Satyaloka. Below Satyaloka is Brahmaloka, which is the planet of Lord Brahma. Before Brahmaloka is Tapaloka. Before Tapaloka is Maharloka, and before Maharloka is Janaloka. And before Janaloka is Swargaloka, before Swargaloka is Bhuloka. So Lord Brahma resides in Brahmaloka, and there are 4 Kumaras and which are residing in Satyaloka. And then there are Navyogendras also, who are there in the who they keep on traveling. So they keep on traveling from Tapaloka to Brahmaloka to Satyaloka. So in Tapaloka, all the sannyasis are there who have attained Nastiki Brahmachari. And in Maharloka, all the Grhastha Brahmacharis are there. There are Grhasthas who are doing sacrifices and they are able to see the Lord in the fire. They are not at all engaging in illicit activities, in any activities, right? Yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Prabhu, you have a question?
यस प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी जैसे कोई महाराज हैं, जैसे आज गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज का भी डिपार्चर हुआ, तो प्रभु उन्हें
Hare Krishna.
उनकी सोल को, आई एम ऑडिबल प्रभु जी? Prabhuji, I am audible. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You are audible, but am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. अभी जैसे आज महाराज का डिपार्चर हुआ तो उनकी सोल को मतलब यहाँ अर्थ से गुलोक जाने में कितना टाइम लगता है प्रभु जी?
ओह,
कोई भी महाराज जैसे
ये
जाते
सेम ये सेम क्वेश्चन हमारे गुरु महाराज से पूछा था, मतलब प्रभुपाद महाराज से पूछा था डिवोटी ने। तो एक्चुअली इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द कॉन्शियसनेस ऑफ दैट पर्सन। मतलब गोपाल कृष्ण महाराज तो फौरन, मतलब immediately he reaches Golok because he's already in Golok. That's why he's able to make entire NCR a Golok, which is hellish planet. So only a person who has Golok consciousness, he can transform these hellish planets into Golok, right? So he's already there. He doesn't need to. That's why we call it disappearance. We don't call death. His consciousness is Golok consciousness. But if we are attached to our body, then we'll stay for 13 days. The soul will roam around the body because the soul is attached to the body. Oh, this tongue is so great. I used to enjoy so many sweets with this. I used to enjoy my family members with my body. So in those cases, then the soul will roam around because of his attachment to the body for 13 days. But our Guru Maharaj said कि मतलब if your consciousness is good, then immediately you will go to your destiny. Already the authorities have decided your destiny. और ऐसा भी होता है, मतलब कंडीशन केस में से तो फिर वही है कि कॉम्प्लिकेशन बढ़ती जाती है, राइट। हमें कभी कभी हम लोग भी जाना पड़ता है अपने जो यमराज होते हैं वो अपने खूटे से सोल निकाल के हमारी यातना देते हैं हमें, और हमारा सारा जो कर्मा होता है वो निकालते हैं ऐसे मतलब उबाल के गर्म पानी में, और कुत्ते जो हमें काटते हैं पीछे, वो सारी चीजें होती है हमारे साथ। फिर जब सफाई हो जाती है तो उसके बाद फिर हमें दोबारा या फिर दोबारा हमें जो हमारे,
थैंक यू प्रभु, हरे कृष्ण।
है ना, क्या कह रहे हैं?
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, हरे कृष्ण।
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा, थैंक यू। तो वही है ना, मतलब हमें देखना चाहिए कि मतलब कैसे ऐसे क्वेश्चंस, कोई डाउट होना ही नहीं चाहिए हमें इन चीजों में, क्योंकि जो इंसान 2-3 घंटे सो रहा है इस कलयुग में, और जो 20 घंटे लगा रहा है प्रीचिंग करने में, जो दे रहा है भगवत धाम, जिसके बोलने से लोगों के हार्ट ट्रांसफॉर्म हो रहे हैं, इतने मंदिर बन रहे हैं, मतलब इस कलयुगा में ऐसा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो रहा है, इतनी प्योरिटी, वो कहाँ जाएगा? मतलब उसकी ऑलरेडी कॉन्शियसनेस गोलोक कॉन्शियसनेस है उसको। दिस इज जस्ट अ चेंज ऑफ बॉडीज, मतलब धीरज तत्र न मुह्यति। ये धीरा is not bewildered by bodily change. That's why Prabhupada used to say the appearance and disappearance of a saintly personality is both same. That is both celebratable actually. For us it might be like there might be mixed emotions because we will not have his association. We will not have whatever services we used to do, whatever mercy we used to receive. But still, actually, he will live in his books. He will live in the hearts of his disciples. He will live in the hearts of those who have received the mercy, who have received his mercy. So that is what Krishna likes, right? So that's why we never say that a person has like a saintly person has died. He has just disappeared. He will always live in our hearts. There is no doubt in that. So that's why we should glorify him. These occasions are for, because we are attached on material bodily platform. To gain strength from each other, we should sit together. We should sing a bhajan and glorify him. That's such an amazing person he was. I still remember once I was sitting in Prabhupada house doing japa, and immediately, I think it was around 6 o'clock in the morning, and immediately Gopal Krishna Maharaj came, and he was looking at all the devotees who were chanting in Prabhupada house. So he has Vaikuntha consciousness. Even like so many videos are there, like a morning he's like going with devotees. When he is 80 years old, he's in Vrindavan. He's going with devotees and he pays obeisances at Prabhupada Samadhi, and then he does the worship in Krishna Balram altar at 4:10, at 4:25 when the altar opens. And this he's doing at the age of 80. Like every moment to moment sacrifice is there. So that's why this spirit of sacrifice only has inspired so many brahmacharis in North India. You see, like there are no, like I don't find any committed brahmacharis in South India. Because why? Because role models are not there. Role models like Amog Leela Prabhu is there, and so many senior devotees are there. They are able to like follow, and they are able to cultivate their purity only because of Maharaj's sacrifice, Maharaj's role model. So yeah, there is no doubt actually that where the soul is going. The soul is already in Golok actually. Iha yasya harir dasya karmana manasagira nikhalasvapi avasthasu jivan mukta savachyate. So already like devotee is in spiritual world when he is like serving Guru and Krishna with his body, mind, and words. Karmana manasagira, right? So there is no doubt in that. Only thing required is the glorification. Is we expand those sanskaras, we expand those glories, and we assimilate them in our heart because it is for our benefit. He is already gone. He's gone to Radharani. But we don't have that realization. We don't have that faith. We are like having coverings on top of our soul. So to reinstate that connection, we should sit together and glorify and do bhajans. So much mercy I have received actually. There is no doubt in it. And yeah, we should glorify. If anybody else also wants to share, you can share. Aman Prabhu also wants to. Yeah. So Prabjit Prabhu asked this question that where is the soul going after the death? So I was just saying that. So as I said, Ki Maharaj has already established 100 temples in North India, and the plan was to establish 100 more in next like next 1 year actually, 1 to 2 years. The preaching is very strong in recently Udhyana temple, even Rohini. So and book distribution also lakhs and lakhs of Bhagavad Gitas they distribute. So there is no doubt. There is no doubt these souls go back to Godhead. The predominating supreme person residing within the spiritual nature is Lord Sri Krishna. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, he can be approached only by anila devotional service and not by the process of jnana and yoga and karma. So this my channel, Bhakti Rave Vicharni, Sagunan Samati Tetan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpati. So we can see this unalloyed devotional service in the lives of these souls. How do we know what is unalloyed devotional service? Only by like reading about these people. And if you can get live association of devotees who are following him, nothing like that, then you will get inspiration to follow. Then you will get that real mercy. If you want any quality, there are two ways to get that quality. One is to glorify the person who has that quality, and the other is you serve with that person who has that quality. So if you get to do any of these, you get the mercy. You get to cultivate that quality. Did anybody raise? Okay, it's again breaking. I'll switch off my video for today. Okay.
Prabhuji, can I speak Maharaj first time in just 5 minutes? After 5
Yes,
minutes.
Prabhu, yes. Your voice is echoing a little bit. If your voice is more stable, that will be more nice.
Yeah, that's why I want to settle down it. That's why I want to settle down it. Yeah, 5 minutes. I need.
Yeah. Go ahead. Aman Prabhu was aspiring to Maharaj, so we would like to hear.
So yes, give me just 1 minute. I'm just going out so that it will not echo.
Yeah.
Okay. So now my voice is audible, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. It's better now.
So I would like to share one pastimes of Maharaj, which one of Maharaj's disciple he shared with us, and it was really after after listening to that pastime, I was really amazed, and I was more convinced that I should get uh, uh, like uh, this initiation from Maharaj, and we were about to get initiation. Means in my 20, Maharaj was giving. Means there was an announcement, and he was. I think devotees they were sharing, and he was ready to give initiation on 20th of May, and many of his who were ready to take rickshaw from him, we did they did IDC course and all, and then it just happened in between. But coming to the means that pastime parts, Maharaj was in Brindavan, and he was visiting, means he was in morning he was visiting throughout the Brindavan, and he went in front of Radha Kund. So at that point of time, there was a devotee who was staying there in Brindavan in near Radha Kund, and he was saying that Maharaj just came in front of Radha Kund, and he did not touch the Radha Kund and the river, and just he prayed and he bowed down and he was leaving Radha Kund, and he was in his mind, like in his words also, I think he was just thinking or speaking that every Maharaj, whenever they are coming, they are just at least taking the water of Radha Kund and in and spreading in their body, but he is not doing so. So then Maharaj understood his means what he wants to tell. Then Maharaj called him and he said, "Hey, you means hey, come here, Prabhu, come here." So then that person that he came, and then Maharaj took the little water of the Radha Kund, and Maharaj means gave means in a way like he spread it in front of his mouth, and the devotee was sharing that he entered in the past times, means he just see the Radha Srimati Radha Rani directly. So that time my goosebumps started, like okay, so he was means he has seen the Radha Rani. So that time, then Maharaj said that, do you think that this is a normal river? This is Radha Rani himself. So it means that Maharaj was seeing Radha Rani personally in that Radha Kund. And then this pastime amazed me. And apart from that, there are lots of pastimes which one more I would like to share if you permit.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So once upon a time, like Maharaj was coming from the Brindavan, and I think most of you heard about this pastime. And there was a and it was a place that time at that point of time. There was some robbers and people were to used to steal other persons' things. So that in evening he was coming, and he was means he was just coming from Brindavan. So that at that point of time, uh, there was an attack on Maharaj's vehicle, and then at that point of time, the devotee means Maharaj started calling means started praying the Narsimha, and he also told to his disciples that you also start chanting. Then they were calling that they sorry, Maharaj told his driver disciple that move fast that time. So that person means some of his disciples, he told that Krishna is with us, and we will call him and he will protect us. So what Maharaj replied that I don't want to disturb Krishna, so please go fast. So in this way, like these pastimes really connected me a lot, and he was also caring for Krishna, that oh, Krishna shouldn't get means this disturbed by like coming and means by helping him. And so in this way, Maharaj was so much care about Lord also. So these things were there. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving me an opportunity to share these pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing. I think the Radha Kund pastime was very amazing, and the second one also. So what you were saying is that Maharaj was able to perceive Radharani in that Kund, right? Like when that devotee was not sprinkling the water, then Maharaj told that like he can see Radharani there, right? Hmm.
Yeah, bro.
Actually, the color of the kund is different on every day, right? Sometimes it is green, sometimes it is red, sometimes it is blue. So actually, that is rather handy. Thank you very much, Prabhu. This is the way we glorify our Vaishnavas when we remember. I still remember that one time Gopal Krishna Maharaj came to ISKCON Panjayavak temple, and I think it was December, and it was a book distribution month. So that was the only time when I got Maharaj darshan face to face. So Maharaj was giving a lecture and he was telling like every December, like devotees go door to door to distribute Bhagavad Gita. So Maharaj said, कि now the season is there, now people will say फिर आ गए तुम फिर आ गए तुम भगवत गीता लेके, कहते हैं फिर तुम्हें यही बोलना है कि फिर आ गए, हाँ फिर आ गए, फिर ले लो, इस साल भी ले लो, इस साल भी बांट लो. So Maharaj is very humorous also. He keeps Krishna consciousness light, but he is always enthused to preach and distribute books. So even like lakhs of Bhagavad Gitas go because of Gopal Krishna Maharaj's enthusiasm. Thank you, bro. So we'll read from here. On the material planets, everyone from Brahma down to the ant is trying to lord it over material nature, and this is the material disease. As long as this material disease continues, the living entity has to undergo the process of bodily change. Whether he takes the form of a man, demigod, or animal, he ultimately has to endure an unmanifested condition during the two devastations, the devastation during the night of Brahma and the devastation at the end of Brahma's life. So yeah, so yesterday only I was like remembering this verse, Yehi Sangsparshaja Bhoga Dukhayo Naya Evate Adi Antvant Konteya Na Teshu Ramate Buddha. So as long as we have this tendency to lord it over material nature or to enjoy the sense objects, then we will continue to take these material bodies. And as a result, these two devastations at the night of Brahma and when Brahma dies, we will have to unmanifest, and that is a painful situation. If we want to put an end to this process of repeated birth and death, as well as the concomitant factors of old age and disease, we must try to enter the spiritual planets where we can live eternally in the association of Lord Krishna or his plenary expansions, his Narayana forms. Lord Krishna or his plenary expansions dominate every one of these innumerable planets, a fact confirmed in the Shruti mantras. Eko vasi sarvaga Krishna idya ekopi san bahuda yo vabhati. Gopal Tapni Upanishad 1.21. So Lord Krishna is there with his expansions in each and every spiritual planet. So we have to train our consciousness to enter those spiritual planets by cultivating a mood of service, by cultivating a spiritual conception, by understanding, by cultivating a spiritual attachment, by understanding that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. And that is best cultivated in the association of devotees by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. No one can dominate Krishna. It is the conditioned soul who tries to dominate material nature and is instead subjected to the laws of material nature and the sufferings of repeated birth and death. The Lord comes here to re-establish the principles of religion, and the basic principle is the development of an attitude of surrender to Him. This is the Lord's last instruction in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Praja. Give up all other processes and just surrender unto me alone. Unfortunately, foolish men have misinterpreted this prime teaching and misled the masses of people in diverse ways. People have been urged to open hospitals, but not to educate themselves to enter into the spiritual kingdom by devotional service. So I was just looking at an interview which Gopal Krishna Maharaj gave in Canada to a reporter, to a TV reporter. So there, the reporter was challenging Maharaj again and again. Why don't you open hospitals? Why are you just begging here and there? Why are you just singing? What benefit will it cause to the humanity? At least by opening hospitals, you'll be able to cure somebody. You'll be able to contribute to the society. So then Maharaj said, actually, this is not actual science. The actual science is when you propagate Krishna consciousness, when you realize your relationship with the Lord. So again and again, in a very challenging manner, he was saying, the reporter was saying, but then again and again, Maharaj was saying. So here also, like Prabhupada is emphasizing that ultimately our role is to serve Krishna. है ना? And we should not dominate the material nature. Matlab, we have to surrender to Krishna. We have to serve Krishna, and in that way, we can train our consciousness to go to higher planets, the abode of the Lord. They start varieties of public and semi-governmental institutions to tackle the devastating power of nature, but they don't know how to pacify insurmountable nature. Many men are advised as great scholars of the Bhagavad Gita, but they overlook the Gita's message by which material nature can be pacified. Powerful nature can be pacified only by the awakening of God consciousness, as clearly pointed out in the Bhagavad Gita. Devi Yasham Gudavai, Mam Maya Duratya, Mame Viye Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarantite. So this is our powerful nature. When we surrender to Krishna, then we swim across the ocean of Maya. Okay. So anybody wants to read the conclusion? Simran Mataji or Aman Prabhu, anybody? Yes, Mataji,
Yes,
go ahead.
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Maybe next verse you can read
Can
out.
I?
Prabhu.
Okay, okay.
Simran Mataji, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
In this mantra, Sri Ishopanishad teaches us that one must perfectly know both Sambhuti, the personality of Godhead, and Vinasa, the temporary material manifestation. Side by side, by knowing the material manifestation alone, one cannot be saved, for in the course of nature there is devastation at every moment. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchantya yama nor can nor can one be saved from these devastations by the opening of hospitals. One can be saved only by complete knowledge of the eternal life of bliss and awareness. The whole Vedic scheme is meant to educate man in this art of attaining eternal life. People are often misguided by temporary attractive things based on sense gratification, but service rendered to the sense objects is both misleading and degrading. We must therefore save ourselves and our fellow men in the right way. There is no question of liking or disliking the truth. It is there if we want to be saved from repeated birth and death. We must take to the devotional service of the Lord. There can be no compromise, for this is a matter of necessity.
So God is a necessity. It is not an option or a compromise. That's a
Yes, Prabhu. Which from where, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Am I audible?